Hello and welcome. Come inside. I'll show you a few things. It's very much a mess in here, but we'll get that cleaned up today. My cousin Jesper, who's going to fix the bathroom that is out there, was supposed to come this weekend, but he had a lot of things to do, and it's not really a pressing matter for me. It just needs to be finished eventually, at the same time as what we're finishing the rest of it. The only thing that's very big of a problem in that kind of thing is, or in the bathroom, is that we still don't have a toilet, which my girlfriend, who's holding the camera right now, is very annoyed of. So we still have to drive home to go to the toilet, or at least she does. So we're still waiting for that to happen. And as you can see, we have a lot of mess down here, but we're going to clean that up today. But I just wanted to give you a quick tour of the entire apartment here to show you where we're at and what we need to do for the next 2.5 days. We're still in Easter and we have 2 full days of working left, and I haven't been filming too much because I've just been hammering on for the past few days. So just follow in here and then I'll show you. What you can see here in the living room is that we have had most of the living room plasterboarded. So it's plasterboarded. We've added in the tape on the joints and on the joints of the plasterboard. And I've also done that on the outer wall going out towards the street. I would love to give this entire room a skim coat, but I'm still carrying things upstairs, especially big pieces of plasterboard. We have gone through the pieces of plasterboard quicker than I expected, so we actually need to go out and buy some more today, because we still have some plasterboarding to do upstairs. However, every time we're walking upstairs the staircase here, I actually stumble into the wall, so I hit the ceiling or I hit the wall towards the other apartment, meaning that if we had skim coated this entire bit, we would be damaging the entire thing. So I think the plan is to get upstairs done first, so we don't have to carry things through a finished room before going upstairs, and then we can do this floor afterwards, because this is relatively simple to do. There's not really too many things to do in this at this level. But yeah, let's continue upstairs. Let me just start here at the entrance to the upstairs level. So I just have a few pieces of insulation I need to fill in here. Then we need to plasterboard this wall, and then we will need to jump into the 2 rooms, because as you can see, this entire wall needs to be plasterboarded. We couldn't do that before we pulled the new electrics, which we have done now. So I had my brother here yesterday. I think he's also going to come today to do the last bits of the electrics. But we pulled the new plugs because we've added in an additional room. We had to move the socket for the light from here, to here from where it was originally. And we've had to make another one. So in the second room, we have one over here, as you can see, in the middle of the room. So, and there'll be a light switch on the wall on this side. In this room I'm in here, and in the room that I'm entering here, it's going to be on the same wall, so we're going to have them in the same place. And that is because the door will open this way around and opening up into the room, and the same thing will happen in the other room, as you can see there. So still a few things to do up here, but what I did get done with my dad the other day was that we got this outer wall plasterboarded, and yesterday I also added the tapes into it. I'm giving all the walls that I'm doing 2 coats of plasterboard, because that's the norm, that's what you're building with today. And it also makes it more structurally sound, and it also adds more insulation. I think what you're saying is that one piece of plasterboard, which is 13 mil, is 100 millimeters of insulation, or equivalent to 100 millimeters of insulation. I've just added 1 piece of plasterboard to this wall here. I'm going to add a second layer to that one. We're going to do that today. And then let's jump into the other room very quickly. We are going to do the same things in here. If you could just come around for a second. I've added plasterboard to this wall. I have added plasterboard to that back end wall here, and we just need to add another piece of plasterboard to this one. However, we are struggling with a few things because pieces of plasterboard, they're too wide and they're too long to carry up the stairs, especially if you're just one person. So we'll give it a shot today and see how it goes by carrying it up. Now, final bit is the smoke ventilation shaft that we've got here. Normally my girlfriend and I are not this close that we are right now, but I think it's fine. We're in the smoke shaft, and as you can see, it's all been painted. Everything's looking wonderful. I think I've shown you this once before. The issue is the issue is still this one up here. We just realized that the battery died, so we're going to give it a take two in here in the smoke shaft. What we did yesterday was that we tried fixing this bit, and we tried on the panel downstairs, the big panel where you enter into the apartments. We tried changing the batteries in that one. We tried checking the electrics and see if we could have everything to work. So everything down from the panel seems to work. So up here, but this arm is apparently broken. That board that you see up in that one is also not working. So what I think I need to do is to get an electrician to give me a quote and fix this bit. But I am going to close this smoke shaft off now, because since I'm not going to be the one doing this, I think it's pointless for me to wait until an electrician can come in and add in a new, like a brand new ventilation arm and fire panel down there, because they don't need to pull any electrics. The electric's already here. So they only need to go in and add it in, so sort of like put it in place so that it works. So what I'll be doing today, straight up now, is to get another piece of plasterboard added into, so that it goes down to around about this size, and then I reckon I can actually squeeze myself underneath it. But we'll see on that part. And then I can take the joints, and then after that I can start painting. I can skim coat it all, let it dry, sand it down, skim coat it again, let it dry, sand it down, and then I can paint it. So that's what I'll be doing as the first thing today. That's the first order of business. So we might as well get cracking. Fit. Right, quick update here from my side. We're just on the other side of Easter, and I haven't filmed as much as I wanted to. It's because I've been a bit devastated, not with myself, but sort of like with the ambitions that I've set for this project. I can see it's dragging out, and that's annoying me. But it's also an internal battle that I'm having with myself, because I struggle to figure out how long things are taking, and as I've never done it before, this kind of renovation, I really don't know whether something's taking 2 days or it's taking 5 days. So it really differs, and the only thing that I can keep doing is putting in the hours, because the more hours I'm putting into it, the quicker I'll end up at the goal. So we're right now beginning of April, and I think it's the 2nd of April today. I'm hoping to have this entire apartment done by the 1st of June, so that's just shy of 2 months from now. Not so sure if I can have it rented out as of 1st of June, but then it might be 1st of July, but I still need to have it ready by 1st of June so that I can advertise it. I might be able to advertise it beforehand, but then again that comes a risk of, will I be finished with the entire renovation in time? However, I have just this evening reached an important milestone. That important milestone is the smoke shaft. That has been fully boarded up from the inside. I have given this piece here, 2 coats of paint, and I was actually expecting that I could give it a 3rd coat today, but I'm going to let that sit and dry for the coming days because I simply cannot reach it from the first floor, the floor beneath me where I'm standing right now. Even when I'm standing on a, how many steps is that? A 5-step ladder that I've got standing just over there behind the light. So I got all the way down to here. I had already pre-cut the pieces of material, the fireproof plasterboard that needed to go on the inside with my girlfriend earlier. And I also installed the 2x4s in here, so that the only thing that is left to do right now is to put insulation in here. It's going to be about 100 millimeters of insulation that I'm going to add in here, similar to what I've done here. This side I'm going to offset a bit with these. They will be, what do I know, 4 by half an inch, whatever. Don't know what they're called in English, but they are also the pieces of board that I put up here behind the plasterboard in the background to ensure that you could actually have something to screw it into when you have a wall that's leaning that direction. And the reason is that it's a bit awkward. It's an old house, so not anything is straight here, so I need to come up with a solution. I can do that. But put in insulation, put these small pieces of wood on. I've already bought them. I've got the insulation, so I just need to get cracking with that. And then I'll put 2 pieces of plaster on top of here. And when this side is done and the other side is done, it is all of the plasterboard done for this renovation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a photo right here of the actual smoke shaft, of how is it looking inside right now. You can see right here in the photo I'm adding up here. As you can see, I've already taped it all. I've closed the small screw holes that I made, and I'm going to let that sit and dry for the coming days. And then I think I'm going to come back in 2 or 3 days from now, where I'm going to give it another layer. I'm going to need a bigger ladder that I'm hopefully able to borrow from my dad, so that I can climb up a bit higher and actually do a full skim coat as the next step. I'm giving it 2 coats of skim coat in here. It's a bit shady to do that downstairs because of it being a ladder standing on top of a staircase, but and it's also very, very awkward to film. That's why I haven't filmed too much, and also because I wanted to get cracking with everything. So that's the scenario that we're at right now, and from now on, and the rest of it is basically just skim coating the entire apartment. And once that's skim coated twice, and I'm hoping that it's going to be much easier than the elements that I've skim coated already, because the elements that I've skim coated already have only been here in the smoke shop, so I've got some experience with it now. It's the first time I've done it again, aside from what I did in the first week in this very room that you see right here, which is an awful job, by the way, because I didn't have the right materials, I didn't have the right equipment either. So I'm quite confident in that element. Once that has been skim coated twice, sanded down, we can prime it and we can paint it, and I reckon that we can paint it 2 or 3 times in a day, the entire apartment, if I'm getting in enough help and if we have enough materials available. So so once that's done, it's floors, it's the ceilings. I still need my brother to come and do the electrics, as you can see, but we've already pulled the electrics, so I'm quite happy with that. And I'm still waiting for my cousin to finish up the toilet. I'll do all the tiling out there, and then it's a matter of buying a new kitchen. So I'm really diving into sort of like the nitty-gritty details of the actual layout of the apartment now. And I'm also going to call my friend who's a carpenter who helped me with actually the membrane that went up here in the smoke shaft. I'm going to call him to get him to help me put in the doors. I've never done that either, but I want to learn it. And I think I've got roughly the right materials for it, aside from like the doors, of course. But I've got like the right screws, I think, and then it's a matter of buying outsides of the door and like the frames that you need to fit it into. I'm very hopeful for the project. The only thing is like it takes longer than expected and it's more expensive than expected. So I just did a rough calculation about all yesterday, and I think I'm going to end up about 30 to 40% over budget from what I estimated it to be. But I haven't spared any cost either. So I'll see if I can source a cheap kitchen. I'll see if I can source like some second-hand materials that are still like second-hand brand new kind of materials. But I want it to be the right thing, and I'd rather spend the extra few thousand Danish crowns on these materials so that I don't have to touch it again at the end. So yeah, that's where we are at right now, and I think I'm going to call it the night. It's 10 in the evening now. I expect myself to be home at around 11:30 because I first need to go back to my parents, get rid of all of this dirty stuff, and then I need to drive 5 quarters back to Copenhagen, so an hour and 15 minutes. But no, very solid progress. Very happy, and very happy that I did actually drive out here today and ended up finishing this bit. So yeah, I'll catch you later. See you then.